Hey there, everybody. Hope you don't have a case of the Mondays today. Yeah, it's Monday. Hopefully, some of you remember that from Office Space. So, anyways, that was the reference. Let's start out with the simple, easy layup here. Layup, perfect intro. Ducks lose. Ducks men's basketball loses to UCLA. A win they really needed. Just really didn't finish down the stretch. Really just didn't play that well overall. Kind of a tough loss. Not a bad loss. I mean, they still remain second in the conference. It's been a good year. It's been a weird year. Injuries. I don't know how to really. I don't know. It's just kind of been a weird year in men's basketball, but um, it's going to be a tough road the next couple of weeks, and we'll just see if they manage to get healthy and take that turn. But they really needed that win against UCLA on Saturday, and they weren't able to get it. Now, on to the good news. Five-star wide receiver Gatlin Bair committed to Oregon over the weekend. Unless you were under a rock, you missed that headline. I know my Scoop Duckers saw it all, loved it all. I want to recap this. I want to think about it for just a minute. Okay, December 20th was when the early signing day was, so that's about a month and a half ago. Junior Adams flips Jeremiah McClellan from Ohio State. Junior Adams flips Ryan Pelham from USC on that day. Okay, then we head into early January. Junior Adams lands transfer wide receiver Evan Stewart out of the portal from Texas A&M, one of the most highly coveted transfer portal players in the country. That's three. Here we go. This weekend, Junior Adams lands five-star wide receiver Gatlin Bair. Granted, he will take his mission, okay, but this is an elite athlete. This guy's not just speed. He's built. This is the total package at wide receiver. This is a guy that Oregon prioritized early on, and it paid off. I do believe possibly had Harbaugh stayed at Michigan, he might have ended up a Wolverine, but that didn't happen, and there is damn green grass in Eugene and stability to boot. So Oregon was able to pull that off. Great news there. Oregon finishes, I believe, number 3 class ranking in 2024. I don't expect any other changes to the 24 class. I think that was it. Signing day was on Wednesday, but it should be without any fireworks at all, or really any news at all for that matter. So in that regard, Oregon finished number 3 on 24/7 Sports and finished number 4 with On3 in ranking. However you slice it, that's a top 5 class, and that's what it takes to win, and Oregon got that. So, and I said this already, I love that it wasn't just, a bunch of star power and a bunch of filler after that. I love that it wasn't because they loaded up at one position. Dan Lanning was able to identify needs, and he filled position groups the way he needed to with good talent. And that's what it takes to win. This wasn't just, we signed 8 receivers and really loaded up the class that way. No, this was they got the guys they needed there. They got the guys they needed at offensive line, in the secondary. You name the position group, and they did that. Great class for 2024 and a great way to end it. We'll talk more about it now that it's kind of officially official. Now, but we are hot and heavy in 2025. Oregon hosted its biggest weekend of the year so far, Junior Day. All these people that were on campus, whether they were 25s or 26s or 27s, they are dudes. They are guys that Oregon wants. They are guys that Oregon prioritized. They brought them in strategically to all be around each other and to make sure that the group wasn't so big they couldn't spend quality time with these guys. So I'll highlight a few. So far, Sean Nelson and myself have at least 7 interviews from just visitors alone this weekend. So, and it's not even noon on Monday. So we're cranking them out. Sean's doing an awesome job. I'm getting some of these guys on the phone. We're working it for you. Some of the ones I'll touch on. I think out of all the visitors, I think tight end Deshaun Brame is more than likely the next to commit to Oregon. And I think that could be sooner than later. Doesn't mean it's today, doesn't mean it's tomorrow, doesn't mean it's maybe even by Saturday. I think it's soon, though. I think we can safely say the month of February, and I do believe within the next week or two, he ends up a Duck. So from the list of everybody, that's the guy that I think has the best chance of committing. Said it had a great visit, loved it, return visit, as you would expect. I think he's in decision mode right now. The modern day duo, I'll touch on them. That is Jordan Davison, running back, Nasir Wyatt, linebacker, edge target. I think if Oregon doesn't lead for both, they're no worse than second. And I think Oregon's battling USC for Nasir Wyatt. So far, Dan Lanning has had his pick of the litter of defensive guys out west and has had no trouble with USC in the past. We'll see if their new defensive staff changes that. I kind of doubt it. Running back Jordan Davison, obviously Oregon lost out on Nate Frazier, running back from Mater Dei last year to Georgia. They're hoping not to do that with Davison this year. He told me he loved the visit, said he was getting ready to trim his list down soon. Didn't provide a date, but did say that Oregon would for sure be on that list. I'll highlight these three defensive linemen that visited Oregon, okay? It's not a very good defensive line class out west at all. I mean, like at all. So Oregon's going to have to go outside of the West Coast to find defensive linemen in this class. You know Dan Lanning's going to do that. They brought in Gus Cordova from Texas, somebody they've been recruiting very heavy for a long time now. He said it was the best unofficial visit he's been on so far, had glowing remarks. There's an interview on ScoopDuck already. Matt Johnson is really kind of one of the only defensive linemen out west worth noting out of De La Salle, which obviously Tosh Lupoy is familiar with those grounds. I think Oregon did enough to become the team to beat there, which is no surprise. Once again, Oregon leading for a defensive prospect out west that they want. Last one I'll touch on is Trajan Odom out of North Carolina. He did live in California for a while, so it's not like he's lived in North Carolina his whole life. He does know the West Coast. Oftentimes when I'm doing these interviews, a lot of it's messaging, direct messaging, whatever, and you send these recruits messages and they respond. A lot of times they're kind of short, right? They're busy, they're talking to coaches, they don't send you a lot. They just, and you kind of got to get it out of them. I did not have to do that with Trajan Odom, okay? This guy sent me paragraph after paragraph after paragraph about Oregon, okay? And it was all good stuff. So I'm about to publish that interview on ScoopDuck. You're for sure going to want to read it. Definitely that's one to keep tabs on because that's a guy that's had most of the top colleges visit him in the last few weeks, and it's a guy that Oregon really likes. So anyways, that's just a few of the visitors. I think there was around 20 or so elite guys through multiple classes. We have 7 interviews already. We'll have 2 or 3 more left today, and we'll keep them going tomorrow and the next day till we get them all, hopefully. Please make sure and you subscribe to this. Please make sure and subscribe to ScoopDuck. And thank you all very much for your support. I appreciate it.